Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to give this home tour. This is a house that we recently moved from, and this is last fall. I am a thrifter, estate sailor. Most of the things I get from my home are from there, and so I'm just going to give you a quick tour, and then I have upcoming tours. So if you would like and subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. So this is the foyer, and that basket, it does have a lid. I got that from an estate sale. I think it was $2. Um, those rulers and canes and things like that, I just pick up as well when I see them if they're inexpensive enough. Most of the time, under $5. That is a wood door I was contemplating and painting. Decided not to at the time for the inside, so the outside I did paint black because for me painting is easier than refinishing. I have not found that to be a fun or easy project yet, so still working on that. Those are some frames and pictures. Again, everything I get is usually from estate sales or thrift stores. That piece of furniture I picked up from a neighbor, and she was selling it for $25. Very old. I loved it. It was painted teal, and I painted it black. That lamp is my grandmother's. When this video was taken, she was still alive. She passed away a couple of months later, 96. Blessed to have her. The baskets, the brass, always easy finds at thrift stores. The books. There is a thrift store around me that has books for like 50 cents, so I love going there. I do collect a lot of busts. Almost every bust I find seems to be really good and inexpensive. So one day I'd like to do some makeovers on them and um, just paint them. Most of them are white. Let's see what we got else going on here. That shelf that was already in this house, and my aunt loves original artwork. She found that at a thrift store, gave it to me for my birthday. Um, that is a basket also that's really old. I found in a garage shed somewhere at an estate sale, and that's just where I put my things that need to be returned. And that's the thing too at estate sales, going in the sheds and things like that, pulling things out of, it seems to be just garbage, but there are definitely treasures in there. That's a big mirror I found for $40 at an estate sale on the second day. What you see in the reflection is the kitchen area. Um, another, well, actually, that was a thrift store find, $10. And a couple of months after I made this video, actually, I opened a booth at our local antique shop, and a lot of these things went in there. That was a lot of fun, and actually I had to close out when we moved again. We just moved back to the city that we lived in. So this foyer is pretty big. It's over 5 feet. It leads to, of course, the kitchen on the left, and then the living area straight ahead and to the right. It's a little bit of the kitchen, but I think I'm going to deflect back to the right, and I do. Those are great pictures, very neat antique, hand painted, and I got those at an antique store. Normally, I thought they would have been $100, but they were $25, so I thought that was great. That is a chair for my grandmother's. She was got some ink on it, so couldn't get that out, of course, and she had, I don't know if she made this pillow or not to go with it, but it covers well. That is a secretary, and it's been painted a couple of different times. That I no longer have. I did sell that in my store. These pictures right here, that is my husband's uncle's drawing of their family home. And the picture above, I did find in an estate sale. A lot of pictures that I have in my house are of people other than our family. Some people find that creepy. I would say more often than not, but it was just, it's hard to tell, but the background is a little like a teal color. It's just a really pretty picture. On the back of it, it has written quite a few names, and then scratched out is saying like, when so and so passes away, I get this picture next, and then I get this picture, and I'm next, and then here I buy it for $2 at an estate sale. So sometimes estate sales are sad. I would say they are, but it's a great way to recycle and to bring treasures home. That is not an estate sale, fine or used. I got that at Hobby Lobby. I did wait for it to go on clearance, and to me it looked like a giant pocket watch, so I loved it. I still have it. I look at it all the time, so it's very convenient for me. Those are some clock faces I got at a clockmaker's estate sale, and that was really neat. He had tons of clocks, just a storage shed full of different things to make them and to repair them. It was just really neat. That frame I have still. I broke the wavy glass. It broke my heart, and so I have fixed it. I didn't want to throw it away, and you'll see that in my new video coming up of our new house tour. So that's just a look back at the foyer and how big it is. I honestly feel like it was a waste of space. It could have been used somewhere else in the house, but that's okay. So at this time, we had only lived here about a couple of months, and I was trying to still find the layout. So our piano went there to make a hallway, and it worked out for a while. I play the piano, my husband plays it, but we also have a keyboard and like a little music room. So I focused on that, I think, because my father-in-law worked in traffic, and that was like a measuring tool, and I just thought it was cool. It looks like a clock sort of piece. That was a free chair that was given away in our neighborhood. It's a rocker glider, so very comfortable. Free is always good. That's the piano. I painted that with Waverly chalk paint and moss, and it's still painted that color, and it has worn amazingly. Of course, with chalk paint you don't have to do any primer or anything. I highly recommend it. Waverly, I like Dixie Belle too, but Waverly is about half the price and doesn't have as many colors, but it's still nice. So that is just the last thing that my grandmother drew, or her handwriting. She did everything in calligraphy, even her name, her signature, always, even if it's a tiny little note. So that's special to me. That plant that I have right there is now dead, so that's not fun, but that is one of my favorite things that I got actually at a yard sale. It was $20. It's heavy, it's brass, it's really cool. It plugs in, so I'll probably have that forever. And that little frog was crocheted by one of my kids. I still have that. That is an old frame I got. However, that is a print off of Etsy that I bought and downloaded, printed at, I think, Walgreens. Everybody loves it. I have a lot of people that come in my house, and mainly men, younger men like my kids' friends will ask me if all these people are my relatives, which is kind of funny that they're even paying attention to the artwork, and I tell them no, but it's just funny. It's the way it was, I guess. Actually, probably then it was your relatives, but so moving on, that is just needs to be recovered, and that's an easy way to fix something that you haven't done yet. These bookcases are new. I got them from Pioneer Woman on Walmart.com. They've held up really good. They're really heavy and durable. I would recommend it if it's something you're looking at. They also have it in turquoise, so just a little bright for me. And all those are, thrifted books, thrifted different things, sheet music at the bottom. So the buffet was my grandmother's as well. It's been painted several times. That is an old cast iron stove I found for $5 at an estate sale. I put some paper in the back and painted the top because it was kind of yucky looking, and just put some battery operated candles in there. And then the marmalade jar, which I had always keep an eye out for, but I've only seen one that was affordable, and it was 50 cents. So I ran to get it really quick. At it was at a estate sale too. So, and then the TV, we haven't hung it at this point yet. We did later because, of course, we changed some things. Those knobs I'm just showing, I guess, because if you can't get a good finish on them, you can always rub and buff them, and that's what I do most of the time. Plus, it's just easier to do that. So this frame is, it's a YouTube video background, and I usually put framed fall pick or something like that. I washi taped, it's gold washi tape, the TV, and you can get that at Hobby Lobby, probably Michael's or other stores too. Hobby Lobby also sells these little corner wooden pieces, so I just rub and buffed those and hot glued them on. The good thing about the washi tape is that it's thin enough to where your remote will work through it, because I have tried it before with the wood. If the wood piece is over it, the remote won't work, and we have to have those remote workings. We can't get up and use our fingers, like we used to. This is an old frame that was my grandmother's as well, and I just aged it, and I made that banner out of old sheet music that I had. And actually, I just cut the sheet music and stuck it on the back of cardboard, glued it just so it would be stiff, and then, taped the string on the back because some of that sheet music was pretty fragile. So, from the 50s and old. And moving on, other bookcase, more estate sale finds. That dog right there is not old, it is new. I think I did get it at an antique shop though. It's a reproduction, but I would actually, it doesn't look like I think it's the Chester dogs that I love so much. They're just kind of pricey, and I haven't seen any of them affordable. So even the reproductions seem to be as much as the antique ones. That's a fiddle fig. It's doing well. It's not doing well now. It just did not like our move, I guess. Those curtains are great curtains. I got them from Amazon because I needed really long curtains, and I think those are like 96 inches or maybe even 108. They're pretty long. They look like a linen color and just have many colors. Great curtains. That chair was a Facebook Marketplace. I forget that I get stuff from there too. And it is a little recliner. I have since gotten rid of that, but it served its purpose. I really liked it. It fit well in that house, and that is a pillow cover from Waverly. I got it at Goodwill, and I used to not look those. It caught my eye, and then I started making sure that I look at linens and things when I go to any thrift store or anything like that. I have found Pottery Barn, Shabby Chic, which is my favorite to find, and then this, but many brand name stuff. Always look if you like linens. I also realized that sometimes you can find the pattern you like in a tablecloth or something to make the pillows from, that the pillow that you're looking for, because I've been looking forever for a long lumbar pillow, the fabric, and I just could not find it, and I ended up using one of my table runners that in the perfect fabric that I had been looking for. So just try to think creatively like that. That is a brass little table I got at a antique store that was closing, so everything was like 60% off, and that head is not old, but that was a Mother's Day gift, and I love it. It's a terracotta color. That plant is also dead. I don't know what's up with that, but this sectional is from Amazon. It is kind of comfy. It's really short in the back. If it's something you want to, if you really like to cuddle and get really cozy on a sofa, this would not be the one for you. If you like to sit up straight and have conversations, it is. It also has storage in each one of the seats, and the seats recline. And you can also, they move in every direction, so you could make a bed out of it or whatever. So it actually was, I think it was pretty good. It's very, I would say, durable. We ended up selling it on Marketplace and getting something else, but it, you know, they're all over Amazon. And the rug also is from Amazon. The pillow covers, Amazon. The table was a Facebook Marketplace. It was that color. I've thought about painting it. The pillow inserts I also find at thrift stores. If they're feather and they're good feather, I'll wash them and then get replacements. Those are just a collection of things. Yes, that little tree I got from actually Target. It was missing some branches and it was in the clearance but didn't have a price on it, and the girl actually gave it to me. She said she'd give it for $5, but then she didn't ring it up, and I asked her about it and she kind of just kept going. So I think that she did that on purpose, which was sweet, I guess. And I just got some filler olive branches from Hobby Lobby and put those in there. And those baskets, the bottom is Threshold from Target, and expensive, but I got it, expensive, but I got it from Facebook Marketplace used for $20. The lid was detached, so what I actually did is put zip ties, since it's wicker, through the back, and it opens and closes. I'd store my greenery in there. So this is the dining room. That table, Marketplace as well. It did come with chairs, but they were kind of wobbly, so they're in storage. And these chairs I had gotten many years ago from Marketplace. They were $60 for all six. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but it's solid. And they are just never wobbly. They're just the perfect chair, and so I plan on keeping them forever because chairs are hard not to wobble. That to the right was my mother's. It was a gift from her, that piece of furniture, and it's just where I keep the essential oils and some. Well, it's fall, so that basket is it's a threshing basket, I think it's called, where they collected things in the garden, and those have some dried gourds, or I guess gourds are dried, so they don't need to have the dried in front of them. Those pillars are pretty new, shiny, and white. I never did anything with them before we moved, but I had dreams of aging them and making them look like old Greek, crusty columns, and I would try to do that if I was still there, but just wasn't. I didn't want to ruin them. I wasn't sure how to do it, and I would just have to do a lot more research before I attempt something like that. Those are the essential oils. That's, Young Living. I usually get stuff off there. I'm showing you that. Why? Cedarwood? I don't know. But it smells really good. And I think that was from Walmart. It's a good fall blend. And the Clementine Mango. Yeah, that's from Hobby Lobby. And they'll have half off sometimes, so it's like really affordable. That smells like the volcano candle from, I don't know if it's Urban or Anthropology, but smells really good. And I kind of do that combo. I'll do a couple of drops of the Clementine and then like one drop of this cedar wood. And then again, I'm focusing on the gourds, but they're really big. I think I got those at a thrift store too. So sometimes people just, get tired of their good stuff and get rid of it. That was a estate sale find, that basket. I couldn't tell how old it was. It does look pretty old. You can tell, like, sometimes with the nails. Just like with the backing of pictures, if you look at them, you can tell somewhat of the age. And those are some prints, and I cannot see it in the video, but they are famous author. I just can't think of them right now. Those were estate sale find too. They were 50 cents each, and I should frame them. I just need to get matching frames, so for the time being, so they would not get ruined or torn or anything, I just hung them up with, little tacks. And that is a drawer, the printer's drawer as well. I got that at actually a church yard sale for $20. And actually, that table runner that I was talking about, that's the one that I made into a lumbar pillow. It's kind of reversible. I thought it worked with summer and fall. That bowl, one of my favorites. I'll never get rid of it. $2 at a yard sale. And it just seems so old. Those pomegranates were pretty cool. I got those at Goodwill, I think, or something like that. Looked pretty realistic, except for the piece of plastic in there. But and just some leaves from my fiddle fig as they were dying. And that candle is a primitive item. Not the candle, but the holder. There were two, heavy duty metal. I wish I would have gotten them both. I don't know why I just got one. It's hand painted. It was $2. Regrets, but that cake pan is my aunt gave that to me, and it was not my great grandmother's, but just like it, she said. And so I let it sit there. It's got an acorn on top. I think it's aluminum. That table runner is from Home Goods. It's Shabby Chic brand, Rachel Ashwell. And then I will also get napkins if I find them at the thrift store. They're actually going over there now, and put them in a basket. We use those instead of paper towels or paper napkins. It just saves money and saves the environment, I guess, a little bit. And a lot of napkins don't even, you find them new. I guess people get them and don't use them. Just some more prints and pictures I have found at estate sales. That green hutch that's half waxed is my grandmother's. And my mom has the matching table. She's using it. It was originally cherry, and so actually right now it's black. I've painted it black to match another one I have. And then the smaller one is my great-grandmother's on the same side, but her mother-in-law, if that makes sense. But just storing blankets in there, and I put a hole in the back. That thing is really falling apart. It is not... every time you move it, it feels like it's just going to break down. But it's still there, and I'm going to keep it until I can't. And then I will try to keep pieces of it, like that top cornice part, and the legs and things like that. So we just stacked blankets in there. It didn't have any glass, and my husband put the chicken wire in there. So that was sweet of him. And my chandelier, I don't know if I go back to that or not. Down that hallway is the other bedrooms, music rooms, which I had planned on touring also, and just never got to it. That basket was not old, but I got it. It looks old because our cats messed it up. But I like when they do that to baskets because it ages them for me. So that's one thing I actually don't mind them doing, unless it's a super nice, good basket. But for the most part, I guess doing that wasp nest. I like to collect wasp nests if I find them. I've never found a hornet's nest. I've always been told to go out in the winter time in the forest, when the hornets are not there anymore and look then, but I actually don't really have any forests near me. That is a set of blue onion, and I got that whole set. There's actually one missing in that. I'm not sure where it is. Maybe it's, but it for $5 off of Facebook Marketplace, and too good of a bargain. Kind of felt bad for that. An old door that my parents gave me. They used to have it as a table, and just, it's a really long door, really long table, so they just didn't have the space for it anymore. That's another one of my grandmother's embroidered chairs that I have inherited. 2 musical prints, some of my favorites. Sometimes I will go on the last day of an estate sale, and you will think it's not worth going because everything will be gone, but I sometimes find the best things and don't understand how they were missed by someone, but everyone likes different things. A lot of people go to estate sales to find some of the newer things. Those are our 2 cats. My daughter had these done for Christmas, which was really funny and cute. And that was the laundry room a little to the left, but so I pan around. This is the kitchen, of course. Let's see, those lights are standard. Well, I'm skipping over them, but anyway, I put stuff up there, estate sales, some inherited, some pottery. A lot of that stuff I sold in my shop, so I don't even have any more. I replaced these knobs. I got these off of Amazon. I love them. These were silver in here and immediately gave a warming texture and tone to the place. I can say that getting knobs off of Amazon are significantly cheaper than buying from a hardware store. I love that lamp. I still have it. She looks like a woman with her hands on her hips, like she's fussing. So I love that. It worked perfectly for a kitchen lamp. Fits under the cabinets well. Just a KitchenAid I use sometimes. Just some other, estate sale finds. Those are, I don't know what those are. I still have them. I think they're dried pomegranates. I'm not sure. They're so small, but that when I shake them, they do have seeds. So they were alive at one time. These little canisters my mom painted in high school. And so I loved to have them and display them. She was going to donate them, and couldn't believe she wasn't going to ask me if I wanted them first. I painted the door just to have a little bit of color in here. And we keep our vitamins and things in the basket. There's just kind of a shortage of storage in this kitchen. Let's see what else. I got that hook and spray painted it gold just to have a little bit more. My daughter made the apron to the right with the strawberries. It was a vintage tablecloth, so that was sweet. And I had this old spice rack that I cut down a little bit to fit in the underneath the cabinets. It's old. I guess I'm showing that an old chalkboard. It's I can't think of the word, but it's slate. Yes, it is slate. Still have that. It's useful to have a little chalkboard in the kitchen to write down what you run out of. And again, I'm showing the spice rack and other little collectibles. I got those spices with the labels off of Amazon. I really like them. They're affordable, and they come with black labels too if you prefer that. And just some little trinkets, and Mom made some homemade vanilla extract and things like that. And this is the other side. I've got some dried elderberries and things. I found this at an estate sale. Just a you know, like I said, tucked away in a shed somewhere. And that I got in a shed, and then I like to get flowers and dry them and hang them up. So I like that idea. It adds a little bit of charm to a kitchen. And there's the foyer again. That green jade is Martha Stewart, so it is not old, but I really like it. That little tea kettle's from Amazon. It's electric. The only thing I didn't like about that tea kettle or water is that it doesn't whistle. I like when they whistle because otherwise you forget about it. Oh, there's the other onion jar that I was talking about. So that collection, the whole thing was $5 off of Marketplace. And little basket. That big pot, orange, terracotta looking, is from Target. And this right here, my daughter makes crochets washcloths, and they are excellent for the kitchen. They're actually excellent for the bathroom too, and body and stuff. So I'd much rather have something homemade. So that's what I usually ask for Christmas. It's best to use 100% cotton for that. These were, they're in a lot of houses, so I think they're like standard builder grade. I could not take them apart because I wanted to replace just the shade. So I just painted them with rub and buff down. Actually, some of that I painted at the bulb at the bottom is some of the glass. You can't really tell. And so when I do that with rub and buff, and my husband did take them down, so I could have gotten new ones, but I just, it's cost efficient. I paint with the black chalk paint first, the whole thing, and it helps it stick, the chalk paint. So, and that chandelier was Amazon Fine. I think it was like $40 or $60. It's a pretty big chandelier. I mean, you can't beat it. And those shades I got as well from Amazon. So they just added the antique touch for me that I was looking for. Cottage. And I think that about wraps up the home tour. I haven't looked through the whole video, but like I said, this was 2 months in living here, and so I was planning on doing the bedrooms, but we ended up moving back to our town, so we lived here about a year. I have done a new house tour of the house we're in now, and I will do as well a decorated tour. So when I get that done, I will post, so please continue to follow me. I will post more videos, and I'm showing these lights. These are all from Amazon as well. But I do crafting projects and makeovers. I try to do everything I can to save money. Like I said, with like those pendant lights and painting them. I actually have already done that in my new kitchen, so I'll include that in my new video. I will try to get it done pretty soon, but just look for more uploads. And if you subscribe, I'm pretty sure the bell will go off for you and tell you when I've uploaded new. This is something I should have done a long time ago and have always loved to do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving.